Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has signed an executive order today to find solutions for more affordable housing.
That's right. He's also bringing back the Smart Buy program. Illinois Capitol Bureau Chief Max Cotton explains what this means for potential homebuyers.
Without question, one of the most vexing issues of our day is the high cost of housing.
That's why Governor Pritzker signed an executive order Wednesday focusing on increasing the supply of affordable housing in the state.
There has not been enough focus on working class and middle class housing, and that is what we are here to address today.
The governor's office says the goal is to increase affordable housing, specifically for people making between 80 and 140% of the median household income. To do so, the executive order creates a new position, Illinois Director of Housing Solutions. This person will work with state agencies to create and implement innovative solutions to increase the number of attainable middle-class homes and rental options across Illinois.
It's a problem that takes many forms, has many causes, and it requires comprehensive solutions. Illinois needs to quickly and dramatically ramp up our efforts to approve and build new housing and to give more affordable options to working families.
To make home buying easier right now, Pritzker is also bringing back the Smart Buy program. It offers an affordable 30-year fixed-rate first mortgage with $5,000 in deferred down payment and/or closing cost assistance. It also provides up to $40,000 in student debt relief to borrowers buying a home in Illinois.
This is some of the most important work that we will do over the next few years. Our success will lower housing costs for every working family, maintain a trajectory of inclusive long-term economic growth, and ensure that future generations will choose Illinois as their home.
In Springfield, Max Cotton, WGEM News.